Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines Team, and tonight, did I say this is Blue Lines Tea? This is Blue Lines TV, and tonight is, of course, the Q&A live stream, and apologies for why it started late today. I've had a problem with my Elgato, so basically, this is what I use for live streams. Obviously, I've got two screens. This is what I use for live screens, and it was just black. I didn't know what was wrong with it. I've been trying to fix it. So in the end, I just had to turn my computer off and then turn it back on again. And then, yeah, that's what sorted it out in the end. So obviously, apologies for why this is starting like nearly half an hour too late. But anyway, I'm going to go straight into it and start seeing some of your questions and that. And of course, you guys, you know what that... Nini gang, is that everyone's saying, yeah? CFC, bro, yeah. I'm going to be calling you tomorrow. So we obviously arrange where we're going to meet. And I need to speak to Zaki Mahmood as well. Obviously to arrange it for Saturday, bro. But yeah, you guys need to think of a better name though than like Nini Gang. That's just, you know, they don't have a ring to it, you know what I mean? It's got to be better than that. Obviously, it's good to see you guys. James Brainbridge, cool. First super chat of the day. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. I need to say thank you, James. You're constantly supporting the channel, and it just means a lot. So I really appreciate, you know, everything that you do. So thanks for that. You hear about Ramires returning to the bridge. Oh, well, I did do a video on that. And basically, Ramires, it was similar to Oscar. Now, when Oscar left, obviously, he was told that he'd always be welcome back. And the same thing for Ramires as well. Obviously, they've been servants for the club. They've been there for a while. Now, Ramires is stating that, obviously, he doesn't want to retire in China. Ideally, he would like to come back and play for Chelsea one more time before he finishes, finishes his career. He's a very useful player. He can play in many different roles, and I mean, who knows? You know, he's the type of signing I can imagine us making in like the January transfer window, where you need that signing that's going to help you out in crucial games, like for example, a sub for the last 20 minutes or to provide competition, etc., etc. But again, I know with Ramires, he was supposed to go to Inter, but then in the end, Inter picked Rafinha over Ramires, and that's why he didn't sign for Inter Milan in the end. But yeah, yeah. So Ramires isn't gonna come. He's just stating that he'd like to come back. And I got another super chat. The Pro Reviewer. Yep. Hey, Pro Reviewer. Next Wednesday you're gonna be on the subscribe recording, so that's it. Don't worry, man. I haven't forgotten. So you're there. So yeah, you'll definitely be part of the caller show tomorrow. Not tomorrow, for next week. So obviously appreciate that. Thanks, man. And you guys, you know what the deal is. Anyone that wants their question prioritized, or if you just want to help support the channel, whatever. Of course, if you're on your iPhone, you can't use Super Chat for some reason. There's a PayPal link in the description below. You don't even need PayPal to send something. I mean, it's literally the same as sending a Super Chat. It's not any different, to be honest. And if you want your question prioritized, obviously send a Super Chat below, and I'll just get through that. I'm not gonna do a madness like last night. I was on for 3 hours. Tonight it's only gonna be an hour and a half. So when it's 12, I'm gonna be gone. Let me ask some of your questions. Hey everyone, cool man. Hey you guys. CFC Anuj Nini. Bakayoko is a good player, but we just need a bit more calmness from us fans. Yeah, I mean, you guys know what I've been saying. Now again, I've always thought maybe Bakayoko is overrated. Not in the sense, I think it's okay to say a player is overrated. It doesn't mean they're shit. I just feel that people thought that Bakayoko was like, match times 2. You know what I mean? Which was never the case at all. But again, we need to have patience. I mean, the guy's still young. He's acclimatizing in a new system. Never had a proper pre-season as well, and it was going to be a learning experience. Playing a completely different style than when he was at Monaco. He's got more touches on the ball. His defensive awareness needs to be better. The football's not as expansive either. You know what I mean? So it's going to be. His tactical positioning just needs to be a bit better. And of course, I think sometimes the pace of the league as well, in terms of he doesn't anticipate that everyone's going to close him down immediately when he's on the ball. And I think sometimes that's when he's been a bit susceptible to losing the ball. But again, it's patience. The guy's only 23 years old. And like I said, it's good to have this perspective on certain players as well. Because I feel that if a lot of people knew that, okay, this is a guy for the future, I don't think people would be too mad about what he's doing this season. You know what I mean? So My only argument, though, and I might sound cynical, but my only issue was, well, if we knew that Bakayoko was going to need time to get used to the system and how we play, etc., etc., why couldn't we have just stuck with using Ruben or using Chaloba in midfield? You know what I mean? That's my only issue. That's what I don't understand. But again, with Bakayoko, we need to have patience as fans, and next year is when we can really start to judge him, you know? Carluccio, hey man, you good? Yeah, I DM'd you on Patreon. I messaged you on Patreon. Did you get that? But yeah, Nini, if you were to appoint the new Chelsea manager, what would be your first 3 changes? Oh, that is a really good one. Hey, Faro17. hey, Faroes, you good man? Obviously, you guys know Faroes, the fantastic animations. So, yeah, man, real talk. We have to collaborate on a video in the future, man. 100%. But yeah, just to start with Carluccio's question, which is a really good one. If you were to, Nini, if you were appointed the new Chelsea manager, what's the first 3 changes I would make? That is a really, really good one. I think one change I would definitely make is obviously starting with the philosophy. You guys know the style of football I want to see. I want to see, you know, a possession-based game, an expansive game. I want to see us pressing high as well. And I think a few changes I would make would be maybe removing some of the deadwoods. You know, bye Cahill. Even though Alonso is decent, I feel that really, for that system to work, you just need a bit more. You need a more dynamic fullback. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see what Emerson's going to do against Crystal Palace, because I think that Alonso will be rested for the game against Barcelona. He's got a lot of the attributes that I like in a fullback, so that'll be interesting to see. But like I'm saying, Cahill will be gone. Zuma's straight in the team. I'm going to start looking through some of the youth players as well. And that's for my second decision. I'm gonna start tiering all of our youth prospects into tier 3, 2, and 1. The tier 1 players will stay with the first team. I'm talking about your Hudson Odois, Masundas, you know, Ruben Loftus-Cheeks. Then the rest will be, you know, placed out on loan. And I think the third change I would make is I mean, that's a good one. These questions are good because I'm never thinking about what I would do if I was a Chelsea manager. Dang. What would be the third decision I'd make? Because that would actually be a good video idea, not going to lie. That would be quite fun. I don't even know what the third one would be, man. I haven't even thought this through too well. I'll think of one as I go through this live stream. Got another super chat. Hey, Corey, bro. Hey, good to see you, man. If Conte goes, do we need to focus on bringing in a manager with a more attacking mindset? And if so, who would we realistically be able to attract? Now, I think when it comes to managers, it's not going to be too hard in a sense, because again, any manager that comes is going to have a nice squad to work with. They're going to be getting paid a lot of money compared to where they're probably working at already. And obviously the location, living in London, and how easy it is to get across Europe as well. It's an attractive proposition, especially in the Premier League today with all the money. But I definitely think an attacking manager is needed, because we've got so many attacking style players that I just feel that that's what would complement them and obviously help with their performances a bit more. I feel that, again, I was speaking earlier about, in this earlier video about Luis Campos. If you guys haven't seen it, watch the Chelsea News Daily video straight after this. But again, you guys know, I've been speaking about Campos so many times. We've been speaking to him already. I think I've read the article today where they said that Chelsea had meetings with him last month. They're 100% right, because I heard about that too from back then. I was obviously told not to say anything about it. And I think that's very promising, because that tells me that there's a very realistic chance that Luis Campos will be the manager. And it got me thinking, well, maybe a Jardim from Monaco would make a lot of sense. Imagine if Luis Campos is the director of football. You've got Jardim being the manager. Now, both these guys naturally complement each other. I mean, they've got a working relationship already. They've known each other for a few years. That makes a lot more sense to me. Of course, the type of players that Luis Campos likes and looks for are the type of players that Jardim's happy to use in his team. He's happy to use youth as well. That could see an introduction maybe of a 4-2-4. That can only help some of the players like your Bakayokos and your Kantes. I feel that if we are trying to play with these styles of midfielders, a Bakayoko Kante midfield could be pretty interesting, I'm not going to lie. But I just feel that if that was the case, we definitely have to sign someone on the right-hand side, which would have to be Ramires, because he's got those playmaking abilities as well. Imagine Ramires on the right, Hazard on the left. Up front, I know maybe your Hudson-Odoi or your Morata up front to try and copy that Falcao and Mbappe thing, but I think it would make a lot of sense. I think it could definitely work. Be playing with that high pressing style. We'll be getting the best out of a lot of our players. And I think Jardim, to me, I think he's more realistic. Actually, I can't say he's more realistic. It's hard, but I'm just thinking, I can't imagine him wanting to stay at Monaco for another year. I think he's kind of done everything that he needs to do there, you know. So I think if he's available, I know that maybe his buyout clause might be a bit cheaper because obviously it's another year gone. I think he'd be an interesting option. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to see us go in for him. I've got another super chat too. James again. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. In summer, I'm feeling Mourinho wants Ramires. You mean in regards to Mourinho wanting to bring in Ramires to United? Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised to see Ramires come back to the Premier League, you know. I mean, already, he was close to joining Inter Milan. Other clubs will be looking for him and looking at him. And especially with how he's already played in the league before, he's got experience here. He's the type of signing I see a lot of clubs will be looking at. But again, I've always thought maybe he's a signing you make in January. Of course, he'll be 31 by then. I think that you can get another year and a half out from him at the very highest level, and then, you know, I think he'd be okay playing that squad role. Okay, well, I need to get back to Feroze's question. Feroze, bro. Okay, Feroze, are you confident for the game against Barcelona? Now, this is going to be interesting. Of course, you guys, I'm going to be bringing out the videos, and that tactics video I worked on, that one that I've been uploading how many times, and then getting content IDs, and I can't obviously it's getting blocks in that. Well, it's looking like it's good now. So I've managed to revamp the video, and basically the video for that upcoming Barca game is going to be about what we did right against Barcelona and what to expect in the second leg. So I'm going to probably release that one probably on Sunday, to be honest. But you know what? I was making this point, you know, with Barcelona, they're just too slow. They've got no threat on the right-hand side. Now, of course, they've got some injuries. With Iniesta, that is pretty key because, you know, Iniesta and Messi are probably the most two key players for Barcelona because they're the guys that tuck inside, and obviously they're the guys that need to play in the line between the defence and midfield, and they're the ones that help give the fullbacks width. Without having Iniesta there, I mean, I don't really know who's going to replace him. Dennis Suarez ain't going to be there. I mean, Dembele could be introduced in the team, but again, his I know he played against Espanyol too, but I know that Valverde isn't necessarily happy with him just yet. But I'm thinking that Dembele would have to play in that game. He'd probably play on the left-hand side as well. I'm not as worried because I feel defensively one-on-one, that's something that Moses is really good at. But at the same time, that's a completely different threat we get from Dembele because he's got that directness. But again, you guys hear me talk about that right-hand side we have all the time, and Aspie and Moses. They're such a solid combination and partnership that I'm not necessarily super worried about a Dembele that's not necessarily in the best of form. I think the advantage we have against... I can't say the advantage actually, but I think one thing that can help us against Barca is the fact that they're really slow on the ball. I mean, even the games after that first leg, I mean, you know, going to penalties against Espanyol, 1-0 against Atletico Madrid, they're a team that aren't scoring as many goals now. I mean, I was telling you guys in the match preview, look at Luis Suarez. He ain't the same because he's not... The system doesn't suit him because he's a guy that relies on playing directs. And obviously, Barca's play is so slow, and because they don't find him quickly with his, quick movements off the ball, he's kind of like wasted in a way. So, again, it's always hard because I can always use my logic because I do feel that we do have a good chance. But then the issue is, how is Conte going to approach the game? And how is he going to tell the team to set up? That's the only worry. I mean, ideally, I'd like Conte to keep that same approach he kept in the first leg. But only this time, I mean, if you do use a false 9, you've got to use it to the 60th minute or 50th minute and then bring on Morata. But ideally for this game, because it's at the new camp, we have to start with a striker. It can't be Giroud because he doesn't have any pace. If Giroud had the pace of Morata, I'd say he can start. But he doesn't have that. And I think because he doesn't move, it'll make PK's job and Umtiti's job easier. I feel that Hazard needs to play on the left for us to have a chance. Morata has to be up front and Willian on the right. Camp Nou is a bigger pitch, but we've never had guys like Willian and Hazard that can, attack, that can provide counter-attacks with pace. We never really had those types of guys anytime we play against Barca. So I feel that's an advantage that we can have. And I think with how we naturally defend off the ball in Conte's system, I always say it all the time, no teams can get through us, with our positioning, how the team are so, it's cohesive as well. I feel there's a chance there. But like I said in this game, it's going to come down. I think our system is strong and that's going to give us a chance in this game. I just feel that it's going to come down to maybe individual moments in the game and what the players are going to do, who's going to be more decisive, and it's going to be a game where Conte's game management has to be on point. You can't be making any silly substitutions or doing crazy stuff like taking off a Hazard with 20 minutes to go and then, bringing on freaking Bakayoko and then we're just parking the bus in our own half with no counter-attacking threat. You need to provide a counter-attacking threat against Barca. You can't afford to just park the bus the whole game and hope to get something. We need to score a goal to win. I think we can get a 2-2 draw. That's the type of result I'm hoping that we do get. And I think if we can get that result against Barca, I'm going to be feeling more positive in our last 10 games. I think I got another. Was that another super chat or? Let me see. I think I got another one. Sorry, you guys. Was that another one? Oh, Kelvin Hunk. Kelvin Hunk, appreciate that super chat, man. Thanks a lot for that, man. What's up, Nini? I was wondering, what do you think of a Willian-Martial swap? Since Jose is a big fan of Willian and Martial has stagnated under him, I would take that. And this is the thing. I think my dream manager at this moment, because I think he's realistic, is Jardim from Monaco. Imagine having Martial in the team and maybe he's playing up front or something. I mean, he's the type of guy, but yeah, you're right, Kelvin, you're 100% right. He is stagnating under Jose because you guys always hear my thoughts and opinions. Jose suits a squad and team that are, 26, 27 plus, because when you get to that stage of your career, you're a complete player and you're not going to get any better, you know what I mean? You can improve on some things, but you're not going to. It's not as if like you're 21 and you have all the years to improve and develop and grow and learn. Around that age, you're kind of complete. And this is why Jose's been successful throughout, teams like the Chelsea team, Porto and Inter Milan especially, because a lot of players at that age are thinking, well, my career is going to be over soon. I want to make sure I've got this trophy, that trophy. My trophy cabinet's looking kind of weak. If we, I'm willing to sacrifice my game to do what Jose wants me to do, because I know that we're going to get results. But then I don't necessarily think that approach works with guys under 26, 25. You know what I mean? Because they haven't mastered their game yet. They're still learning. And if you're, let's say, for example, Oscar, he's a prime example of, I think, how Mourinho doesn't benefit these youngsters, because Oscar was praised for his, off the ball work and his work rate, which, I mean, he's always had that. I mean, and that's not going to improve him as a player. And I feel that that was a real reason why he stagnated at Chelsea. And Mourinho doesn't care because his system's all about players self-sacrificing and then obviously capitalising on the weaknesses of other teams. And it just doesn't work with guys that are young. You know what I mean? This is why they can't keep that consistent performance. This is why they seem to falter a lot at times as well. And, it's no surprise Rashford ain't playing as much. Martial, he's definitely stagnating. This is a guy that on his debut season got 17 goals. And that was his first proper season in his career, playing a whole season. You know what I mean? So he's got talent. And I feel that maybe Martial will consider, maybe it might be time to leave Manchester United. I think United could sell him to, I mean, we know that they wanted to bring in Perisic. You know what I mean? We know that he likes Willian. Who knows what's going to happen in the summer, but he's the type of player that I'd like to see Chelsea approaching in the summer, because I feel that he kind of fits the model we're looking for. Yeah, it'll cost a bit of money, But Martial has the potential to be a world-class player. And I kind of think, imagine if you use him up front in his natural position. I just think that's the type of signing I want to see, to be honest. Let me see. James again. Hey, James, thanks, man. When is Ross Barkley back? I think with Ross Barkley, I need to double check, but I do think that he's been training, so I think he'll be back soon. He was supposed to be on the bench against Man City. I haven't heard anything about him breaking down or anything like that. I just feel that I think we'll see something from him against Crystal Palace on Saturday. So I think that's definitely something to look out for. And with Ross Barkley, you know my thoughts on him. He's an investment guy. I'm not really going to see anything about him until the end of, until next season, basically. But yeah, okay. What other questions? Let me see. Like I said, you guys, of course, everyone that's sent in super chats and stuff, really appreciate that. You know, it means a lot. It helps the channel as well. And, you know, I'm just, yeah, thanks you guys. It means a lot, man. Let me ask some of your questions here. Okay, let me see. Josh Banks. Hey, Josh, I need to find out. I'll phone my dad tomorrow to find out if he gets the tickets. And, because if he does, then we'll just meet outside the game and I'll get them to you then. Okay. Maxin, there's always a fight about Chelsea never turning towards their youth. But there is also the point that not all youth is ready. Which youth do you think is ready to make the squad, in your opinion? That's a good question. And yeah, it's going to have to break it down to two parts. The first part is with youth, really, technically youth should be guys that are like, I don't know, under 19. You know what I mean? When we talk about your Masundas and Rubens, I mean, these guys are 21 years old now. I mean, they're young. But to call them youth, I mean, they're not really youth anymore. And I think this is why next season in particular, we're going to be seeing a lot of these guys leaving. Because they're at a time where they need that stability in their career. And they want to start progressing and pushing on. So for that question, I'm going to stick to the academy. Hudson-Odoi, without a doubt. Mason Mount. People talk about Asensio. Yeah, Asensio is good. And, you know, this month, everyone keeps telling me to make these videos, you know, based on our youth players. I think I need to do it this month. When I say that Mason Mount is exactly the same as Asensio, I mean it. He's literally the English version. Their play style, their mannerisms, their characteristics on the ball as well. They're identical. And I just feel that, yeah, Asensio might have a bit more experience than Mason. But if he was available in the market, do I think it's wise to spend 60 million? No, I don't necessarily think so, in my opinion. Mason Mount for sure. And let's say Jardim's the manager. He could have a career under Jardim as well. Hudson-Odoi. And, of course, Sterling. And there's some guys I'm keeping an eye on. I think that Castillo, the left wing back, is decent. I like the look of him. But at the same time, Jada Silva's doing bits for Charlton. And I think that, yeah, I think he'll be on loan again next year. But I think more people are going to be aware of who Jada Silva is. And he'll start to get a bit more praise in that. Who knows? Let's say Ryan Sessegnon gets sold. You know, a big team signs him. Maybe Jada Silva going to Fulham. He can, in a way, he can just play the same role that Ryan Sessegnon's been doing for Fulham. And maybe they start to get a bit more credit that way. But there are three players I think that are ready to, you know, if they had to play in the first team, I think they could easily provide a job. And yeah. They're my three guys. Got another super chat. Gotti Reyes. Hey, Gotti, man. I've been waiting for you because I need to answer your question from yesterday. So, I'll be answering both your questions now. I'll start with your current one now. What would your starting 11 in a Chelsea 4-3-3 be? Okay. Now, I'm going to just base your question based on, obviously, the players you have in the squad right now. Actually, for your question, is it all the players within the club or the players that are actually in the, you know, in the squads under Conte right now? Why is this bloody thing freezing, man? Okay. Okay, for a 4-3-3, obviously it's got to be Courtois in goal. I'm not gonna lie, I've always wanted to see Luiz and Christensen together. It's a shame I've only seen these guys play once together. On the right, this is controversial because I really do like Aspie. Of course, I think if you're a Chelsea fan, it's just, you know, it's just the one guy that you just always admire. But I think a lot of us know deep down him playing as a fullback ain't really the one. You know what I mean? Like, is it a surprise that he's been playing more defensively throughout his career and hasn't really progressed as playing as a right back? Mate, I don't know. I don't know. Because I think I like my fullbacks to attack, and I think Moses is better attacking than Aspie. On the left, you know what? I like I've been watching a lot of Emerson, especially when we were linked with him. I'm really impressed with his attributes and what he provides. Maybe it'll be stupid for me to say actually, you know what, fuck it. I like to see Emerson in a 4-3-3 because, again, they're the attributes I like. I like two attacking fullbacks that get forward. They can help the midfielders out. They can take people on, and they can help stretch the game as well, especially if you've got your inside forwards cutting inside as well. Of course, that three-man midfield, I like to see Kansé, Cesc, and I'd probably have to say maybe Barkley in a midfield three, and then up front, obviously Hazard's probably Hazard, Willian, and Morata in a 4-3-3. But if it was involving maybe players that are, you know, that we own, I'd like to see Ruben in a 4-3-3. I think he could do bits. You know, I'd like to see Zuma in a back two with Christensen. Zuma and Christensen have to be the back two of our future. That's our defence sorted for the next 10 years, 100%. And yeah, they're like maybe some changes I'd make in that system. I don't know. Something tells me that maybe Cesc might be leaving. There's definitely going to be players leaving in the summer this year, and I think most of our signings will just be on replacing players that have left, because the size of the squad is pretty big now. So I don't think any more numbers are needed. I just think maybe replacements for guys that move on. And your question from yesterday. Okay, do you prefer Hazard over Conte? Would the board keep Hazard over Conte? Now, here's the thing, you know, of course, if you haven't watched my News Daily video later, if you haven't, of course, there's already talks of how Conte's representative, not his agent, his agent is Daniel Conte, that's his brother. His representative is that Federico Pastiarello guy, so he just talks on behalf of Conte. Now, L'Equipe is saying that next Tuesday they'll be holding talks, and I think that's kind of mad that they're predicting the day and everything. You know what I mean? And I think especially the day before the Barca game. But with football, sometimes you do have to piece things together. Now, I think all of us know logically next 3 games are going to be massive, because that's basically 3 competitions we can be out of. You know, if we lose against Palace, we probably won't make it into Europe. Lose against Barca out of the Champions League, lose Leicester out the FA Cup, and then our season's fucked. Our season's over then. So I feel that maybe Conte is starting to... I mean, of course, Paris Saint-Germain approached him. You guys know already I've spoken about how Conte's been interested in the Paris Saint-Germain job. It makes sense that you'd hear the offer and proposals that PSG are talking about, because, you know, if you are going to leave end of the season, Conte does want to keep managing, and of course he's got every right to. Yeah, honestly, it makes sense. Maybe if it was his agent going there, that's a bit more of a piss take. I think it's because it's a representative. I think it's just part and parcel of the game. I think everyone kind of knows that he won't be here end of the year. If other clubs are approaching him, I mean, of course he's got to talk to them. I mean, it's not as if he's going there personally. His representative is. So, I mean, he's perfectly okay to do that, you know. So maybe in my video, maybe I regret saying it was a bit of a cheeky thing to do, because I was thinking about it now, it really isn't. So that was stupid of me. But I think, yeah, I think when you know that Conte ain't going to be here, you just have to back your player. And when it's Eden Hazard, the guy that single-handedly won us 2 trophies. I know with Kante won Player of the Year last year. I don't know why, because Hazard, I felt, had his best year for us last year. And he was the reason why we won the league. I just think, you know, this guy has never been used properly. I gave an example in the subscriber live stream yesterday about Salah. Now, when Salah was at Chelsea, this guy had to play as like a winger, in terms of he was going back to his own half to pick up the ball, and he's playing isolated out wide. You know how Mourinho likes to use his wide players, and this is why most of them never do anything, because he just uses them very stupid. That's the reality. But when Salah left Chelsea and he went to Roma, he was able to play in his natural right forward role. You know what I mean? As an inside forward where he's able to play closer to the goal, higher up. He had the support of an attacking fullback, obviously stretching the play and supporting him to allow him to cut inside. And yeah, of course, this is when you could see his natural abilities. He was banging in the goals, getting double figures for goals each year for Roma. He signs for Liverpool this year. And then he's completely doing a madness in the league now because the guy's already got more than 30 goals in all competitions. And people are thinking, well, why is that? And Salah basically said it in a BT Sport interview himself. He said that, well, the difference is that with Klopp, he really plays me close to the goal. No one's ever played me as close to the goal throughout my career. And he really tells me to get forwards. You know what I mean? So he's been giving those instructions. And can you see how that can make a massive difference in terms of how effective a player can be and how you can get that extra efficiency from a player? Now, for example, let's say Salah's at Man United. There's no way in hell he'd get anywhere near 30 goals. You know, let's say he was at Chelsea. There's no way in hell he'd get anywhere near that amount due to how much he'd have to come back in that. This is what I mean. And I kind of felt that, you know, referring this point back to Eden Hazard, Hazard's never had that coach that's telling him, that's really giving him, you know, really unlocking him in that way. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's what he needs because I think that he could start doing Salah bits in terms of, you know, getting more goals than him, etc., etc. So I think Hazard for me every day, you know, you've got to back Hazard, especially when he's given so much for the club. It's got to be Hazard over Conte. Got another super chat. Jono McFall, appreciate that, bro. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, your question. If we drop out against Barcelona or miss top 4, do you really see Hazard staying? I feel like this is the season to make him want to stay. Love your vids. Appreciate that, man. And honestly, man, it's hard. I feel that the only way of keeping Hazard's... Of course, there's going to be a lot of things behind the scenes. People are going to have to say the right things to him. People are going to have to let him know who the new manager is going to be and what type of players they're thinking of bringing in. That could help persuade him. Maybe if he had to sign Fulk and Hazard, maybe I don't know. Maybe you might have to look into that. Might have to accept that to keep Hazard at the club because I feel that Hazard's the key for us reaching the levels of your Reals and your Barças. But again, it all comes down to if we're going to get into the Champions League for next year. Now, ideally, I'd love us. So let's say Conte was to win his first, let's say he won his first trophy in his final season with us, and then we got into the Champions League as well. And let's say we gave a decent account of ourselves in Europe. Potentially that could be enough to keep Hazard at the club, especially if the guys behind the scenes are telling Hazard, well, next year is going to be different. We've got this guy coming in, we've got this happening, that happening, etc., etc. It will be hard. Especially with Real Madrid being interested. I mean, they'll be spending a ton next year, 100%. I really think our only bet at keeping Hazard is making sure we get top 4 and hopefully getting the FA Cup. I think that would be enough at keeping him. I don't know. I think Hazard doesn't have to sign 300,000 a week with us because he could just sign that with Real Madrid. You know what I mean? And he'd have his natural position, the players around him, and you know, you guys, I make that point all the time about obviously when players get older, they get more naturally selfish. I said this about Hazard a lot too. The first time you've ever heard Hazard talk about his ambitions before the season started in terms of the Ballon d'Or and Champions League, and we've never seen Hazard this vocal really at all throughout his Chelsea career other than this season. So really, I think he's kind of giving us a look into his mentality and mindset in terms of how he's seeing himself as a player and how he's thinking about his future and his career. And honestly, it's going to come, of course, it's going to come down to if Chelsea are going to meet his ambitions. That's it. And for us to show him that we're still the place for him to meet his ambitions, we need that Champions League football next year. We need to win the FA Cup, and then someone needs to tell him what the plans are going to be for next year. Because that's the only way I see him staying. But again, man, thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jono, for that super chat, bro. Okay. Let me see. I missed 2. Oh, shit. Don't worry. I can see them all. Don't worry. Okay. Let me see. No, I've got. No, I've answered all of them. No, I haven't missed 2 super chats, man. I've answered all of them. You're getting me scared for a second then. Alright, cool. What other questions? Damn, got a ton today. This is the biggest Q&A live stream. Ina, hey Ina. Just check the stats. That's why he is singled out. Just watch Man United against us. Yep. Anuj, Nini, apparently, according to reports on Twitter, we are going to go on a spending spree this summer. Like I'm saying, you guys, I'm expecting a lot of players to leave. I think for sure I'm not going to be seeing Kale or Pedro anymore. And there's a chance maybe Fabregas might be moved on, etc., etc. So we will just be replacing guys that are already in the squad. So of course that is going to come with money. I just hope this time it's going to be money spent on the right people. That's all I'm praying for. Ahmed, Nini, I love your channel. If you made it as a Chelsea player, what position would you play and what type of player would you be? A playmaker like Cesc, a powerhouse like Didier, or a gladiator like Costa? That is a good question. I've always been such a bipolar player. Like, when I was really young, like a kid, like, you know, under 10, I was more defensive. But then when I was like a young preteen, I was more like a Samuel Eto'o type of guy. I had the pace, the speed. I was good at finishing, obviously, good at taking people on. I had a bit of techers about me as well. But then I think, you know, as I didn't play as much football, I had a strict mum, you know, she always stopping me playing football. Back then I used to have to like sneak to train. I used to make up that I had swimming lessons and shit just to make sure I could go. But, you know, it was always hard keeping up that double life, especially when I was young too. So, but I was more of like a Berbatov guy, but I was able to drop deeper. I was good at keeping the ball close. I could play people in. My touch was decent. Actually, it wasn't decent. I had a good first touch. I had a good first one. But yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I haven't played football for a while. I mean, I do want to get back into playing. It's just finding the time. And, you know, I used to bang out goals. Used to play for clubs and stuff. You know, Sunday leagues and stuff all the time. But, I mean, it would be good to get back to that. Because here's the thing. I'll tell you guys this. I don't know if Chelsea are still doing it, but what they used to have was this supporters tournament, basically. So it's like, let's say you were part of any Chelsea fan clubs. Each Chelsea fan club from, you know, in England or even across Europe, like once a year in Cobham's Training Centre, there used to be a tournament held there. So, yeah, it was really good because you were using their pitches. It was 11 aside, of course, and it was just like a tournament throughout the entire day, basically. You really get a trophy at the end, and it was sick because you'd have like an ex-player managing each supporter group. And I think I had Ron Harris. He was our manager once for 1 year, and that was really good. And I've always been thinking, actually, I want to find out if they still have that, because it would be sick to maybe create my own club and then maybe do a video on that. And maybe some of you guys too, subscribers from the channel, coming in, you know, being part of like the, you know, the Blue Lions FC first 11 team. I think that would be fun. It's because sometimes you get to see some of the youth players as well. Like, you know, you always saw a few of them. They used to train on a different side of the pitch, but I wonder if Chelsea are still I wonder if they still do that tournament at Cobham. I need to find out. But it was like every July, so yeah, it used to be fun. James, thanks, bro. Thanks again. Who is your #1 Chelsea legend in history? You know what? It's so cliche, but it's hard. It's between Terry, Drogba, and Lampard's. But to whittle it down, it's between Terry and Drogba. But I'm not gonna lie. I think, it's hard. I've never been good. Like, I'm one of the guys, but I don't have a favourite. I like a selection of things that I rate very highly. And I see Drogba and Terry as the same. You know, I felt both players were misunderstood. Both leaders, both underrated in terms of people used to rate them for certain attributes they used to have. They used to forget just how complete their overall game was. Like, for example, no one ever used to talk about John Terry's technique. I mean, this guy's passing was ridiculous. He was a ball-playing defender. He could play out easily. His composure was ridiculous too. Remember his trademark chest controls. And I've never seen never seen a player as accurate with their heads. I mean, John Terry could head the ball like he's passing it. That's how accurate it was. No matter if someone's running at him, no matter how much pressure he's under. I mean, this guy was a complete player, and it's just like, if he was Italian, I've always felt if he was Italian and he was at freaking Juventus or Milan, whatever, he'll get the praise. You know, people will be talking about him like they talk about, you know, your Buffons and players like that. But I just feel that in this country, you know, I don't know, they're just idiots. You know what I mean? But Drogba was the same thing too. The guy used to get criticised all the time for diving and shit like that. But you know, people forget that once Mourinho left, Drogba stopped diving. And Drogba was only diving because, you know, this is why Mourinho loved him. You know, he was a warrior that used to fight for the team. Drogba was the type of guy where, even if he was on the bench, if he was playing badly, whatever, he'd be clapping the guy, you know, he'd be clapping the striker playing in front of him. He'd be on the pitch, he'd be celebrating, he'd be helping the team get going. And, you know, of course, we forget how much of a complete player he was. Remember that season, when he banged in like 30-something goals? He got 15 assists that year. I think he was like top 3 assist makers in Europe. I mean, this guy could drift out wide either flank. His crossing was ridiculous. His free kicks were world class. His strength too. Like, when you look at Drogba, he wasn't like a big, huge guy. If you look at his body, like, you know, it's probably similar to like a Ronaldo. But the reason why he was so strong is because it was always up here. He always knew how to use his body strength. For example, when it came to winning balls in the air, he wasn't just jumping like an idiot. There was like an art to it. He was timing it. It was like 1 step, 2 step, and then leap. You know what I mean? And this is why he was winning most stuff. You know, when it came to leaning into opponents as well, he knew how to put them on their weaker side. And this is why he was, you know, such a force. And yeah, I just felt like both these guys never really got as much credit as they should have. But yeah, you know, it seems so crazy that I used to watch these guys all the time, and it's like they're just not at the club anymore, you know. That's the thing with football, though, you know. Okay, let me see. Let me ask some other questions. I was kind of rambling on then, reminiscing in that. Okay, let me see. Everyday Monday. Lampard was the best ever Chelsea player. Of course, you know, Lampard's got a shout as well. We used to have some like legends at this club. Ina, Nini, is it time to let Pedro go? Feel like this season he has been really dull. Nothing like last season. 100%. And you guys, you know, I'm always talking about how you use players effectively in their best positions. And when you've got systems that complement them, you see a different side to them. Now, remember Pedro used to be a guy that used to get more than 15 goals a season for Barcelona. You know, this guy used to play for Barcelona. And it's kind of mad because if you look at him, you never think that you have the abilities to do that. But you don't need to be necessarily 10 out of 10 in every single attribute. As long as your good attributes complement the style and the system that the manager wants, that's literally all you really need in your career. And I think Pedro is a guy that really symbolises that, because I think he can only really work at Barcelona, but elsewhere, at Chelsea, let's see how many things he's lacking in his game. And I think it's time for him to go. His contributions, I've always felt, have never been enough. He's always been a guy that 3 games will get 1 decent performance, 1 average one, and then 1 poor one. And it's just, you know, if a player like that, you'd expect more. And he's never really given that to me, to be honest. So yeah, Pedro's definitely got to go. QWERTY TJ1, what a dumbass statement to make from Gerrard. And that statement from Gerrard, if you guys don't know, was obviously when he was asked about who the greatest African football player was. Now, in Gerrard's defence, the only thing I can think of is that, and it's just like me, sometimes if someone asks me a question like, what 3 changes would you make at Chelsea? Because you've never ever really thought about it, when it comes at you, you don't really know how to express yourself properly, because again, it's never been on your mind. And I think with Gerrard at the time when he was asked that, obviously being on live TV and that, I don't think he probably couldn't remember any single African player at the time. I'm sure the only 2 guys he could think of was Kolo Toure and Salah. So obviously you got to go with Salah, innit? But yeah, I just think that I don't know. I don't think it's anything to get too like angry about, because I just think that it was just something he said in the moment because it was just thrown at him, you know. We know that Gerrard's not thinking about no Africans, you know what I mean? Okay. Vincent, Chelsea buy Insigne. No, I don't think that would make sense because Hazard plays there. But I don't know. Let's be hypothetical. Let's say Sarri was the manager and we saw what this guy did with Mertens. is it crazy to think that Sarri could replicate that with Eden Hazard's? Especially with the system they play, I don't think it's impossible. Maybe something like that could happen, and if that was the case, maybe an Insigne could make... I don't know. I'm worried about how the season's going to end, but then I'm excited for next season, because I kind of feel that a lot of us are anticipating the summer, because I really think this is going to be the summer that's really going to show what type of club we're going to be, you know, for the next 5 to 10 years, because I think big decisions will have to be made. I keep making this point that it's like we've had these natural like life cycles in terms of how we've been run as a club, and I don't think we can continue down that same way for the next 10 years. So I definitely think there will be some big changes happening, and I think that I don't know, I'm feeling optimistic for the summer. I just hope that we've got European football. Ahmed, hey Ahmed, thanks for that, bro. Okay, TJ All-Star. If we sign Asensio for a swap deal and 150 million and get in Enrique, can we be set for the next season? Oh. Here's the thing though. Like, let's not forget this, yeah? I'm always talking about how you use players. Now, what's Asensio... How does Asensio really work? Asensio works because he's got an attacking fullback that obviously attacks the spaces in behind that Asensio makes. You know, Asensio, he's a half-space player. You know what I mean? He's that guy who's comfortable tucking in. You know, he can cut inside as well. He can work, but I think if that's going to be the case, you need to be having an Emerson Palmieri doing that. You know what I mean? Because Alonso can't be that guy that would provide any attacking support in the fullback areas. And I think these are the type of decisions I want Chelsea to really think about, because let's say you sign an Asensio and you're not going to play him in his best position. You're not going to get the best out of the kid. And that would just piss me off, because one, would be a waste of money in a way. And it would just be typical Chelsea, never, you know, doing things properly, you know. I think that, I don't know. Again, reports are coming out from Madrid that Asensio's thinking, why the hell do you want Hazard when I'm at the club? So that's what I mean. You know, there's a real thing called player power at Real Madrid, you know. I'm sure if Asensio's got Ronaldo backing him, I'm sure Ronaldo don't want Hazard in the team just yet. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? But I don't think it's going to be as simple as Madrid just signing Hazard like that. Who knows? You know. But I think if Asensio does come, you need to have an attacking fullback. You've got to play a certain style. Asensio wouldn't work under Conte. You know what I mean? He'd be isolated all the time. There's no guy out wide to link up with. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense. But I mean, you know, I like him. But then, like I keep saying, we've got the English Asensio and he's called Mason Mount. Horan Campbell, thanks for that super chat, bro. I appreciate that, man. Okay, SP Danker, then play him on the right. Yeah, but I know you say play him on the right with it. Are you talking about Asensio, actually? Maybe, I guess so. But again, Asensio is about cutting inside, especially because he's able to then take shots and goal. This is what I mean. We've been playing... Willian should be an example of maybe how we should stop using players, because let's say there was a system where maybe Willian was able to, you know, play to his strengths more. I kind of feel that maybe his legacy at Chelsea would be seen much more fondly. And this is what I mean. When I look at some other big teams, I mean, I forget United because they just spends. But, like, you know, when you look at a City, for example, you know, everything's curated perfectly. It's like, everything's fine-tuned and everything's tweaked to perfection. And this is why their team performs so well as a unit, as a team. And that's because they don't have guys that are playing out of position and doing uncomfortable things. And I think playing Asensio on the right, I mean, of course he can do a job. But then surely you want to see a guy that's going to be able to, you know, play the fully best that he can. I don't want any more Willian situations. Oh, shit, I got something in my freaking eye. My girlfriend hates when I do this. She says I look so stupid when I'm rubbing my eye. Oh, shit. I had to do that, though. James again. Shit, man. Damn. Okay. Would you use Morata and Giroud together? Oh, this is a hard one. Morata and Giroud together. Because Because if that was the case, I mean, could they work in a 4-4-2? With how Conte wants them to work, I'm not too sure. I kind of feel like when we do see Giroud and Morata, it's going to be in situations where, you know, it's a substitution. You know, where it's going to be like the last like 20 minutes of a game and we need to get things happening. Because then we'll be pumping balls in the books. But I think if they were to start a game, it would have to be 3-5-2 or... Yeah, it would have to be. I don't want Morata, you know, too deep. And I don't want Morata out wide on the wings either. But again, it makes you think about Eden Hazard, but playing in behind. Is that as effective? Because then it's like, we'd have to really trust the wing-backs a lot more, you know? We'd have to trust Morata, because Morata would have to play deeper, you know, especially with how Conte uses a 2 up front. You know, I mean, again, as he's always used his 2 up front since his days at, you know, with Italy and with Juventus. It's been the same formula, you know, someone that can keep hold of the ball and a smaller guy that can obviously drop deeper, that can drift out wide and can obviously play in behind as well. And this is why, you know, at Juventus he used to have guys like Amori and Vucinic, and then it was like Tevez and Llorente, and then for Italy it was Eder and Graziano Pella. And I just don't think that it would fully work. I think with Giroud, he's more of the plan B in terms of we need a different solution in the game. We need a new alternative, or maybe we're going to approach the game differently today. But I don't see Morata and Giroud working together, especially in a Conte system. They just don't complement each other. Okay. Someone said something about Dybala. You know what? If I could have a dream signing, it would probably be Dybala. That would be kind of, you know, he's a guy I always sign on Football Manager. Okay, Anto, Nini, I've seen your assessment on Conte and you're right. He is too slow when it comes to switching tactics. He's a stubborn, angry coach and sabotages the team unconsciously. Oh, shit. If you try correcting him, he snaps. Yeah, I guess. I think with a lot of managers, so especially guys that have won, I think you're always going to have that natural arrogance because, again, you think, well, my formula has got me great success, so I know what I'm doing. And I think maybe this is why, not just Conte alone, but other managers too, they're just not flexible when it comes to changing things quickly enough. And I think maybe guys like your Contes and Moos in particular, that Mourinho's in particular, that focus especially on playing off the ball more, they seem to be more inflexible when it comes to making changes. Okay, what other questions are there? What other ones? Oh, Harain. Hey, Harain, man. Appreciate that super chat, bro. Thanks a lot. Okay, your question. Who do you think we should replace Cesc with? I'm guessing you mean Cesc Fabregas, right? Now, this is what I mean. Because I've always thought midfield is one of the most important areas for a team. And I think that's the most important area because that really lets you know how you're going to be playing as a team and what your philosophy is going to be. Now, it's really hard to answer that. You know, I don't just like, you know, I've got to analyse this shit. You know how I do it. First thing I'm thinking is, who's the manager going to be for next season? Once we have an idea, then it's like, then you can start thinking of complementary guys that can play in midfield. I keep making this point all the time, and I think a few of you guys on Twitter DM me, not DM me, but post me stuff as well in regards to Thiago from Bayern. With reports that he's not as happy and that it looks like potentially he could be leaving Bayern Munich. Now, if you really deep his options, I mean, could he go to Barcelona? I don't know. I don't think so. Not when they just signed Coutinho. Man City, would they sign him? I mean, they've got Silva and De Bruyne. I don't think he'd work there. Does he want to be a defensive mid at Manchester United? No. That's the type of guy that I'd love us to go in for. You know what I mean? This is why I'm stressing that we need to do things properly in the summer. Because every now and then in a transfer market, there's a few gems that are left open. This is why Arsenal, for example, this is the only reason why they were able to sign Sanchez and Ozil, because by the time those guys were available, all the other big teams have finished their business. If it was a case where all these guys were available from the start of the window, no way in hell was Sanchez or Ozil going to Arsenal. And this is the type of opportunity maybe we could get for next summer. So I just pray that there's going to be an evolution in the style. I mean, a revolution, not an evolution, a revolution in terms of how we play, because then maybe we can start enjoying players like a Thiago playing for Chelsea. I mean, imagine this guy in midfield, linking up midfield to attack, playing those passes into freaking Hazard and that. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, that would be sexy. Imagine Sarri ball with Thiago midfield. Or even Luis Enrique, because obviously they've got a good relationship, Enrique and Thiago, and obviously Thiago's brother and Rafinha. Who knows? I mean, I definitely don't think Enrique's as bad as what people are saying, especially as I've been just doing a bit more research and watching some games and that. I think out of Sarri, Jardim and Enrique, it could be decent. It could be alright. Okay. Yeah, Everyday Monday, you're right. Thiago won't come to us if we don't have any Champions League, because you saw how he was talking about Man City. This guy, of course, he's a world-class player. He's super critical. Some people think I'm critical. This guy said he's not even that impressed with Barcelona. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of says, not with Man City, so I think that kind of says everything, you know. So, yeah, this is the type of guy that can take you to another level. Queen of Stamford, hey, nice to see you again. Marina G or Eva Canero? I'm guessing you're talking about their looks. I'm not going to lie. I've always been a bit of a booty guy. I'm not gonna, oh, that sounded really gay then when I said that. No, obviously I like a little, I like some back. I like a nice piece of back. So I'll probably have to say Eva Canero. You know what I mean? I don't think I could have Marina telling me what to do every day. You know what? I'm not that type of guy. So I think with the Eva, yeah, I think I could, you know. Eva's decent. Eva's decent. I'm missing loads of super chats. I know I've been answering all of them. Yeah, I've been answering all of them. Yeah, you guys, don't scare me like that. Everyday Monday, yep. The order you gave for Jardim first and Sarri second, Enrique third. My exact same order. Speaking of Baileys. Okay, what other questions are there? Yeah, my lip is bleeding. I'm trying to... Just ignore it. I can't do nothing about it. Eva would get it still. Hey, you know, she's a bit of a spice. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys, my lip. I can't do nothing though. Like, I can't do nothing at the moment. Okay, what other questions are there? Okay. Carluccio, Nini, are we making top 4? Carluccio, bro. Now, obviously, I've done a video beforehand breaking down the, you know, how we can still make into the top 4. And basically, it's going to come down to this. We need to beat Tottenham. And we need to get at least a draw with Liverpool. We need to get at least 8 wins out of our last 10 games to have a chance of getting there. Now, again, I went down into sick detail. You know, yeah, I've got to do it properly. You know what I mean? So I looked at all the clubs that are going to be fighting for a place to get into here. I looked at Man United, Liverpool, Spurs, and us, of course. And I looked at all of each club's last 10 fixtures. And I think teams like Liverpool and Spurs, they need to play 3 teams in the top 6 in the last 10 games. And again, I was comparing how many times, you know, teams in that, you know, in the fighting for places in Europe have to play each other. Spurs, Liverpool got to play each other, you know, got to play 3 teams in the top 6, and we got to play 2 teams in the top 6. That's obviously Spurs and Liverpool. And obviously then I checked each team's record when it comes to getting, you know, how many points they accumulated against teams fighting for places in Europe. And this is where I've got a bit of hope, because I looked at Tottenham's records, and even though it's been good in terms of games they've won, they've still lost the most games against teams in the top 4. I mean, doing that at times, Spurs can have a habit maybe of maybe in the big pressure games of falling. You know what I mean? With Liverpool as well, their record's been decent, but then they picked up the most draws against against teams fighting for places in Europe. And yeah, they got like 4 draws against them. So realistically, when we play Liverpool at home, you know how Conte's going to approach the game. So I'm like, a draw minimum is what we need. And against Spurs, they never beat us at Stamford Bridge. I think we'll get the 3 points against them. And then it's just going to come down to how many points we can get against teams in the bottom 10. So I think that there's a possibility that we can still get into Europe. And I think that if we get into Europe, that means that Spurs won't be in Europe for next year. And I think Spurs have more... I think they've got a bigger risk than us because they've got a few more harder games compared to what we have in the final 10. So I'm optimistic. I think we can do it. It's just going to come down to the right approaches by Conte. He's just got to be on his A game. You know what I mean? Okay, what other ones? My top 4 vid was legendary. Rad Chelsea fan. Appreciate that, man. Glad you enjoyed it. Turnip Dave. Good name. Thoughts on criticism being completely dismissed as negativity and not even being considered by what seems like a lot of our Chelsea fan base. I'm not going to lie, at times it can be a bit frustrating because I guess it's just human nature. No one likes being reduced or having their points dismissed, especially when, you like to put in time to analyse things and think about it. Maybe I was thinking maybe some of the stuff maybe I tweet, because when I tweet it's completely different to when I make videos, when I tweet I'm more of like a fan at times, reacting to things that happen during a game, or you know what I mean. So I've been trying to change up how I post my tweets and that, but it's natural. I'm not gonna cry about, oh, why don't people see this, see that. I mean, that's reality, that's life. We just gotta live with it. You know what I mean? So maybe over time, I think that's how it works. To be honest, I remember when I got a lot of criticism after the win against Spurs this season because I wasn't happy with the performance because I didn't understand how we could defend like that, and I thought that we kind of got lucky because of 2 great moments by Alonso. The free kick and obviously the goal at the end, because we didn't create anything other than that, and it easily could have gone sour. And I got a lot of people criticising me for that, but I think as time's gone on, maybe people have, because again, it takes people everyone realises things in their own pace. You know what I mean? It's not my job to make you realise things immediately. I mean, I can help, but then a lot of people over time, they'll message stuff saying, oh, I was thinking this, but then you were right in the end, or I watched your video again and then you made me think of this differently. So it's not as bad, you know what I mean? So like I said, it's just part and parcel, bro. I just I'm okay with it. I'm still just gonna give my same thoughts and opinions, and I still even if it's unpopular, I still want to say it. You know what I mean? Like I'll never be someone that's gonna say anything crazy for the sake of it. What other ones are there? Okay. What other ones? What other ones? Jack Max, do you think we can beat Barca? It'll be hard because we've never won a game at the Camp Nou. So I'm hoping we go for a 2-2 draw. That's the result I'm hoping for. Because we'll go 3 then. Okay, what other ones? Jane M. Suarez is possibly out for Wednesday. That's Dennis Suarez. That's not Luis Suarez. So that's what I mean. A lot of these, those football blogs, whatever, that's, doing the clickbait stuff. Steve Dan, thoughts on Alisson to replace Courtois, and who do you think should replace him? I'm not going to lie. I'd probably say Alisson. This guy's very complete. And he's got that passing up from the back, a good shot stopper. I haven't seen as much of him, but from from his shot stopping ability, he did this world class save. Was it against Shakhtar? I think. Yeah. My God, I think that was probably the save of the year so far. It was like at point blank range, and it's like how he was able to keep his wrists and hands so, so strong, and to hit the ball away. I thought it was an unbelievable save, and I think it really made me like take more attention. I don't know what he's like necessarily when it comes to deliveries and defending from set pieces, but I've never pretended to be a guy that knows about every single player. A lot of times, let's say like for example Emerson's, that was when I had to watch him to know who he was, because I've heard of him, but then I never knew anything about him. I know Justin, Deroca, Oblak for me. Yeah, I know a lot of people are talking about Oblak, but like, here's how I see it. The guy he just signed a new contract extension. He's playing for Atletico Madrid. Just imagine how much money it would cost for him to come. And then there's that possibility where it's like, yo, would my guy even want to come? You know what I mean? Would he want to come and join Chelsea anyway? That's what I mean. So it's not as easy as that. And Aina, oh Aina, you sent a PayPal. Appreciate that, man. Nini, thank you for this channel. I'm gonna go to a Chelsea game with you and buy you loads of beers when I come to the UK. I'll be looking forward to that, man. Just let me know when you come. As I said, you guys, I'm going with 2 subs to the game against Crystal Palace. That's CFC Anuj, Zaki Mahmood. I've got a season ticket. I've got like 2 season tickets spare. Whenever I have 3 games, like I said, I'm going to be posting it on Twitter, and I'll post it on the community tab. Anyone that's living in London or that's going to be in London during the time, just let me know, and then, you know, just come watch the game with me. But Aina, appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. You've done too much, though, to be honest. Like you've sent too much, man. But yeah, thanks for that. James again, dang. I'm starting to feel like a camboy or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like I'm getting all awkward now. James Brainbridge, would Joe Hart join Chelsea to replace Courtois? Oh, I think that's a signing you make if there's no top 4. I think there's a lot of keepers out there, to be honest. There's a guy from Toulon, Lafont, you know, some young French keeper. He looks very promising. And I think that's the type of signing that would make more sense for us to go in for, because, of course, he would have the prospect of obviously playing week in, week out for a top team. That's going to boost his chances playing for France. He's got a lot of French speakers at the club already. Lafont would be an interesting signing if Courtois left and we got no top 4. Of course, there's talks of Donnarumma. Honestly, I've never really seen too much about him, so I don't know how great he is. But then, of course, Raiola's his agent. I can imagine he's going to cost a ton of money. I know there's that keeper from, what's his, not Real Sociedad, it's Espanyol. He used to play for Man City, the Argentinian guy. Oh, fuck. Rulli, I think that's what his name is. Rulli. He's a decent keeper as well, but honestly, I think for me it would be Alisson or Lafont. I think Lafont would be a great signing. I think he'd be cheaper compared to the rest, and the signing for, I mean, you know, ideally when you sign a keeper, you want them to stay there forever, and I think getting a Lafont early, beating the rest of the competition, I think that would be a great signing. Timo Horn. I've heard stuff about him. Timo Horn, is it Frankfurt or Cologne? Cologne he plays for, right? Jamal Blackman, Nakeem Parsons. Now here's the thing. He's been doing decent on loan. Last year he was really good. And I was reading quotes from his manager saying that I see this guy being a Premier League goalkeeper in the future. Now, I don't know how good he can become. Can he be good enough to play for Chelsea? Who knows? But, you know, if he becomes a championship or a Premier League player, I mean, he's still made it. He's still done good, so that's interesting. Ross Fisher, does Nini get naked on private chat? bro, nah, not in here, man. You think about a different site. Okay, Mario Blackmantelli, Luis Enrique attacking football, very underrated on Twitter. Yeah, like I said, as I've been doing more research, looking into the guy, I feel he is. I feel that everyone's completely dismissed what he was doing at Celta Vigo. And I was thinking too, at Barcelona, you got Neymar, Messi, Suarez, a front three that gets you more than 120 goals plus. It just makes sense when I just, you know, have the rest of your team sitting deeper and just playing direct balls to those guys, because then that's how you get the best use of them. And that's how they get 100 goals plus per season. Could he have done more in terms of adapting things later on? Maybe, but then sometimes I think this in football, you know, there's a reason why managers don't stay at one club forever. I think Sir Alex Ferguson's an anomaly in terms of how he's so flexible at changing things. I've never really seen managers that can do that. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson can just change the whole style of how a team will attack to, you know what I mean? But I felt, I mean, is it really a criticism? I mean, Enrique, let's say he signs for us, he's never going to be here for 10 years. And I kind of think that as football fans, we need to stop thinking of managers needing to be here for more than 3 years. You know what I mean? It's just part and parcel of the game. They come here with their system, it works, and then we find someone else that can, you know, bring in new ideas or maybe continue things to improve it. That's how football works. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a reason why, there's a reason why most managers leave pretty early. You know, and even when they get successes like Pep, he's still meant to move on and change things. So I just think that, I don't really think it's an insult that, let's say, Enrique, I mean, he wasn't sacked. I mean, he just decided to leave at the end of the season. So, I think he is underrated. You're right. Okay, Nakeem Parker. Bulaka, oh, that's the youth goalkeeper. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about him. Okay, RD399. Who does Lafont play for? He plays for, is it Toulon? Spelled Toulous. Stephen, Dan, I want Jardim or Francesca. Francesca is another fun one. This is what I mean. There's a lot of managers that's going to be available during the summer that have great ideas in football, have attacking approaches, and it'd be a real shame if we didn't go for any of them and then we went for like an Allegri or something. I think that would be kind of weak in a way because it's just no bravery going for someone like that. Touchline Frack. I do like Touchline Frackers. I'm not gonna lie. I like listening to their podcasts and that. You know, it is good. I like listening to obviously Talking Tactics with Dan and Carl, and obviously, you know, Have Hope. I do want to have Hope here as well because obviously I like having him. I like speaking to him. You know, he's a cool guy. Obviously, Londoners Blue. This month I'm gonna be releasing my podcast, so I'm gonna make sure that it's gonna be good. Prince, oh, you sent me one. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Let me see. Okay. Okay, hey, Prince, it hasn't come up just yet. I think I need to wait a bit for it to load through. So I'm going to keep refreshing every now and then until it comes up, man. So, yeah, just give me a second, Prince. But yeah, thanks for that. Okay. Young King, would you want Frank Lampard to manage us? You know what? I think it's too risky, honestly. Now, I know I've spoken about, obviously, you know, managers that have obviously trained with youth teams, for example, like your Peps with the B team and your Zidanes as well, are moving up there. But the context is different for Lampard because he's the assistant to Jody. I mean, he hasn't taken over any of them, you know what I mean? And to be honest, you know, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's just with Chelsea for his education. I think he might look at other opportunities that might come to him. I mean, with Lampard, he's completed his license, so in the summer, he's going to be able to manage a club if a team comes in for him. I mean, he can't manage a team that's in Europe. So I think this is why, actually, maybe with Chelsea, he probably could get an exception. They always make exceptions for, you know, people that play for big teams. But I think because he doesn't have that UEFA Pro license just yet, I don't think Chelsea would waste their time just yet in having Lampard as a manager. So I think that for him, he either continues his education by, you know, spending another year with us and then gets his pro license and then sees what's out there, which could make a lot of sense. I mean, you know, Chelsea have a recent history. You know, your Brendan Rodgers, your Neil Clements as well. That are, you know, guys that were backroom staff and obviously coaches within, becoming full-time managers and, you know, playing, you know, managing big teams. So if I was Frank, I'd probably spend another year here and then obviously move on and see what's out there. But I mean, now to manage Chelsea, I mean, I don't even know his ideals on football. No one knows. I haven't seen anything, so it's way too risky. Lampard to be assistant manager, that could be interesting. That could be. Yeah, Nini, you need to check your super chats. Okay, let me double check because I've got a different tab open where I can see the list of super chats. Kendrick, appreciate. Oh shit. Okay, you guys, my bad. Prince too. Oh shit. Okay. You guys, my bad. For some reason, I've got the chat open. I just haven't seen any super chat. Okay, I didn't scroll up. My bad, you guys. Let me answer them now. Okay, Prince, thanks for that, man. Yo, just showing love. Great show. Yeah, glad you enjoyed it. And thank you for coming on to, obviously, yesterday. It was fun speaking to you too. And yeah, man, make sure you come on again. Don't stop. Okay, let me see. Don't stop. You didn't send me a question. So in the chat, if you send me the question you want me to answer, obviously let me know and I'll do that. Kendrick. Okay, Kendrick. Who is your realistic pick for technical director? For me, it has to be Luis Campos. I think this guy is... I think he'd be great and a great addition to the team. And it gets me thinking too. Let's say he was there and then you've got someone like Jardim that you've appointed. These guys know each other, you know, perfectly. They've worked perfectly. They share that same footballing philosophy as well. And it's just like, you know, that players that Luis Campos will look into, you know, a Jardim is naturally going to like. So I think he'd be a great choice, especially with our loan system. And I kind of feel now that with what Mourinho's doing, as I've been, you know, I've done videos on this, you know, months ago, like around October. You guys know that. With how Mourinho's gonna run things in terms of, you know, basically spreading out Emenado's role, and it looks like obviously Neil Bath will take over the loan destinations for players in the loan army, and I think that could be good if that's one guy's obviously, you know, specialized job. You know what I mean? But and I think obviously with Luis Campos purely focusing on targeting the players, that could be interesting. But I mean, the only worry maybe is the fact that obviously we know that Mourinho has kind of had our own small transfer team of our own. I know that, what's his name, Scott Goldbridge has been, I think it came out recently that he was part of that, because no one really knew he was part of our team. But again, I've heard from, you know, some like Joe Tweedy, and you know, I should even be, I don't know if I should be saying this or not, but with Joe Tweedy, I mean, you know, this guy, he knows a lot of people at the club. I mean, he's serious. I mean, did any of you guys read this fantastic article on We Ain't Got No History, where he was with Lewis Baker during last summer? You know, he was in Holland, I think, for a week or something, and, you know, he was just, you know, interviewing Baker. He was out with him, and obviously, you know, the amount of things he was noticing when it came to, you know, learning of the game as well. I mean, you know, it's not hard to imagine that he's got contacts with other players, with other people, and other people in the football industry. And one other source, the infamous source I'm always talking about, this guy, he's part of the football industry as well. You know, he lives in France, he's international, you know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, it's been lucky that, you know, I hear some of these things too, because, you know, they both got working relationships with the club, you know people, etc. You know, it's, yeah, I feel fortunate that I get to hear a few stuff of what happens, you know. Let me refresh to see. Alright, cool. You guys, literally 18 minutes, then I'm out in 18 minutes. Let me answer some of your questions. So basically, you guys got me for 18 more minutes. You guys know what the deal is. If you want your question prioritized, obviously that's what the super chat thing, or send me a PayPal if you can't use super chat, but there's that. Carluccio, Nini, will you answer all your questions? Yeah, I'll make sure I do that. Kendrick, yep, I answered your question just now in regards to who I think is a realistic pick for technical director. Obviously Luis Campos for me. Ayub, okay, let me see. I'm refreshing. I missed your super chat. Let me scroll up, man. Sorry about that. Ayub, where is he? I can't see it, man. Are you don't stop? Okay, don't stop. Okay, no, you're not don't stop. Okay, don't stop. I can see you. Nini, thoughts on Felipe Anderson potentially joining in the summer? Love your vids. Oh, now that's a signing that pisses me off, because it seems to be this recent Chelsea thing where any player we've scouted for the past year or two, I don't know why they still hold credence. You know what I mean? It's just like Felipe Anderson hasn't really got another level. I mean, there could be an argument that if he played for a team that was better or suited him more, that he could. Then you'd like to think that, yo, maybe it's good to prove yourself a bit before you step up. Isn't that what big clubs do? You know, they sign guys that are proving themselves over a certain time before they sign them to make the step up. I feel the type of money they'd want, what, 40 to 50 million for a guy that, I wouldn't say he's on the decline, but he's definitely stagnated. I think it would just be stupid business, to be honest. And Praying. I know Chelsea have been looking at this guy, whatever. I hope we're not looking at him. I want a guy that's got a left foot that can cut inside. That's all I pray for. That's all I want. Okay, got another super chat. Pre-tax Sharma. Keep up the good work, my friend. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. Joe, Nini is big time. He needs a producer. Soon come. Real talk, man. Soon come. That's what I'm hoping. Next season, I want this channel to be even bigger. I want it to look more professional. I want to have, you know, ideally, I've got hopes of maybe producing like a documentary. You know, that would be, you know, interesting during the summer. But again, I need to stop saying ideas and then not doing them. So, but again, next year I've got a lot of big plans. Okay, let me see. What other questions? All right, you guys, 50 more minutes and I'm out. Okay, Kingsford. Who's coming from the loan army, Nini? I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is definitely coming. And I think it has to be Zuma as well. I think they're the two realistic ones I see coming at this moment in time. Ahmed Nini. Look into Mattia Perrin. Yep, the guy from Genoa. Fantastic shot stopper when you have time. I want to know your opinions on him as a replacement for Courtois. All I know is his shot stopping. I don't know his overall game just yet. But I mean, I'll look into him. Thanks for that shout out. Okay. Ayub, I haven't seen your super chat, man, because I'm refreshing my page and it's not coming up. So maybe you didn't click through properly. Okay, RD399, thoughts on Pulisic. Now, I'm going to sound kind of crazy, but I don't really want Pulisic. I think he's very silky. His dribbling style is very nice. Great close control. But I don't think he's worth the investment. I mean, I think we've got other guys that can do what he does. You know, I don't think he's any... I always make this point. Just because we see a player like Pulisic who has experience, it doesn't mean he's necessarily a better player compared to, let's say, a Masunda. I think with Pulisic, I mean, I think the magic number of games that a player around that age needs is like probably 120. No, probably 100 to 120. I mean, you know... This is how Bakayoko was able to step up. This is how Goretzka's become a Bayern player and how he's going to be in the first team next year. And he's looking like he's going to be a world-class player in midfield. That's the amount of games that you need. I don't think Pulisic is near that amount just yet. Once he's completed that many games, then we'll start to see. But that's like, what, nearly 3 seasons anyway, isn't it? I just think that... I think he looks really good. He looks nice, but I don't know if he's that as effective as how he seems. I feel that maybe his intelligence, he can over dribble a lot, and he's been playing for Dortmund since he was 17. So honestly, I'm not too sure about him. I don't think he's worthy of. I don't know. It might sound bad, but I don't think he's ever going to be a world class player. I mean, Pulisic is a nice player, but I don't think he's worth our time, to be honest. Okay. The Pro Reviewer HD. Remember, man, just to remind you again, of course, next week you're going to be on the subscriber calling. Super chats were sent over an hour ago. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Let me just show you, actually. Let me show you. I have, I've got, like, on YouTube, you have, like, when you refresh, it lets you know everyone that sent super chats, so... Oh, okay, Ayub, my bad. I've seen it here. Okay, you're right. My bad, apologies. How did I miss that? Shit. I've got so many today. I've never had this many before. Oh, shit. Ayub, man, apologies. Shit, my bad. How did I miss that? Shit, my bad. Damn, man. Alright, Ayub, your question. If Eden goes to Real Madrid... Who should Chelsea ask for? Okay. That's an interest. Okay, so if Eden Hazard goes to Real Madrid, what type of player should we ask for from Real Madrid? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I don't know why it's become this thing where we need to have a player from Real Madrid if Hazard goes. I want someone that's going to complement how we're going to play. Would I take Bell? I'm not too sure. I think it's the injuries really that put me off. I don't think he's worth the investment if you can only get, let's say, you know, 20 decent games from him in a season. I think we should be expecting more. People talk about Asensio. I don't know if he'd want to leave Real Madrid. I mean, this guy, like as I was saying earlier, he's saying to Real Madrid, you know, why the hell do you want Hazard when you have me? So he's getting pissed off by that already. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'd prefer Martial over Asensio if that was the case. So I wouldn't take any Real Madrid player because, I mean, I'd rather get the maximum amount of money. I think Belgium are going to do bits in the World Cup. If Hazard was going to say, I'm going to be leaving, we know we're going to be getting at least 200 million, which will be the world record because the World Cups only inflate a player's price. And then, yeah, that's it. I think it's best to take the money than to take a player from them. Hey, Flanagan, I'm American. I don't think Pulisic is ready. That's what I mean. Of course, you know, he's got ability. He's got talent, you know. But, yeah, I think maybe compared to maybe a lot of other American players, that could be the case. But sometimes I watch MLS sometimes on Sky Sports. The football is really... It's fun in the sense that it's a lot of, like, gung-ho tackles and a lot of physicality and running. But then only in moderation because, I don't know. I don't think I could enjoy that football if that's all I could watch. Fix the camera. Yeah, I fixed it. All right, cool. K-Max Nini. Should we start to give Odoi more of a chance in the first team? I think so, because I think he's good enough. I mean, I make this point all the time. Sancho has gone to Dortmund. He's already been playing games with them. He's been part of the first team. He hasn't looked out of place when he plays. Do we think that Sancho is on another level to Hudson-Odoi where he's able to play for Dortmund? No. No way at all. Maybe they're on the same level or Hudson-Odoi is a bit better. I mean, it's hard. It will come down to preference. But, I mean, they are pretty similar. I think that Hudson-Odoi, if you had to say, Hudson, here's 15 minutes, here's 20 minutes, make something happen for us in the final third, I think he can make something happen. And I just think, just the confidence. I kind of think, if let's say Conte said to Hudson, hey, Hudson, last 15 minutes, I want you to test the keeper. If Hudson knew that he had the confidence of the manager to, let's say, express himself and take responsibility, I don't think he'd necessarily make the easy pass when he could just take a shot for himself. So that's the difference in terms of the confidence a manager can bring. And I think that Hudson can definitely provide something to this team if we had to rely upon him. So I mean, again, I see it like this. If Pedro was on the last 15 minutes, would he be doing any better than what Hudson can do? Probably not, because Pedro doesn't do anything when you need to rely upon him. So that's how I see it. Okay, other questions. Sideshow Bob, yes, nice to hear from you, man. Chelsea fans are so disrespectful towards Pedro. Watch the way the guy plays this season. How can you just say he's shit? He's constantly running all game and he doesn't hit the ball. He's tired. I understand that. I understand your point. But I don't know. I just think that with Pedro, it's what he does with the ball in the final third. You know, the amount of times he gives the ball away pretty easily. The amount of times he messes up the final ball pass as well. I think one thing that I've maybe personally been frustrated with Pedro is the fact that how easily he gets brushed off the ball. Way too much. I know there's moments where he has his glimpses of skill where he's getting past someone or bending a shot into the top corner, etc., etc. But I think maybe the runnings come at the expense of quality in the final third. I think because maybe he's not feeling as confident in those areas. I'm not too sure. But I don't know. Can we really be praising Pedro for work rate? Because that's the minimum every player needs to have to play in a Conte system. I mean, that is the bare minimum. I mean, the only player that was really not running as much, I'd probably say, was Bakayoko. But sometimes, you know, when I look back at things now, I think maybe he was just not used to how he had to defend off the ball in a Conte system. That was what was hampering him, because it was taking him too long to get used to it. Because, you know, the guy didn't have a pre-season. But I don't know if crediting Pedro's work rate is enough, because the bare minimum players need to have is the ability to run in a Conte system. So, you know, that's how I see it. Okay, you guys, the last 10 minutes, then I'm gone. Then. So again, if anyone wants any questions, prioritize or whatever, final chance to send super chats or the PayPal links or whatever. Okay. Coluccio Nini for Chelsea manager. Say for that, man. Okay, Mohsin Khan, Nini, what are your thoughts of Sarri ball under Luis Campos? Yeah, I think it could work. I think with Sarri, he's very easy. Well, the reputation that obviously read about him is the fact that he is easygoing when it comes to working along with higher up officials within the club. I think I think it naturally translates the type of football he plays, the type of style of player he wants, with the type of players that a Luis Campos would look into. I think it could definitely work. I think it could definitely be an option. Okay. Yeah, sideshow, but I understand you admire his bike rate. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, again, I do think it's the bare minimum, but at least it shows his application is still there. Okay, Ross Fisher. Chelsea needs to invest in a manager who wants to play football and give him time. I think we'd all love that. I think a lot of us fans, we just want to see a different style now. I think we've kind of seen the same style for more than 10 years now. I think we need a revolution, basically, Ayub, again, thanks for that, bro. I appreciate that. Arthur Henrique, the guy from Gremio. Now, that's interesting. Okay, basically, Ayub's question, Arthur Henrique for Cesc if he doesn't go to Barca. Now, I might sound controversial. I've seen a bit of Arthur, actually. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's ready just yet. I think even if he went to Barca, it's a massive jump, in my opinion, to just go straight to Barcelona. I think his effectiveness in terms of what he's doing on the ball ain't there just yet. I think, was it last season, he got like 1 assist and 1 goal throughout the entire season. Now, yeah, I know not everything's down to stats, but then with the role he's playing in midfield, you're expecting maybe a bit more in the final third in terms of how he's a bit of a creative force as well. So that is quite telling. It was actually funny. There was a guy that I met at Chelsea, and he's part of football as well. He works. What's the Brazilian club he works for? Is it Portuguesa in the Brazilian first division? But I think he works. He's got like a board level role, and obviously he's got an apartment flat in Chelsea as well. Obviously, he can afford that. And yeah, sometimes when he got spare tickets, he'll come and sit with us. And he was talking to me about a lot of Brazilian players and how he feels. And a lot of people, he said, in Brazil are feeling that a lot of these guys maybe aren't as good as what they used to be like. They're not producing as many fantastic players as what they were. This emphasis on, the physicality of maybe the technique and the skill. And he's feeling that maybe that's detrimenting the national team at times. But we were speaking about Arthur, and he says, he was saying with Arthur, I definitely don't think he's ready. He'll make the same mistake a lot of young Brazilians have done and forcing moves to big clubs. Remember the 2 guys, remember Thiago Maia we were linked with? That was going to replace Ruben, and, Conte wanted him, or was it Mourinho, whatever. He's at Lille now, not hearing too much about him. And there was another guy before that, Lucas Silva, who left Cruzeiro to go to Real Madrid. He was hyped up, and you know what social media does and these football articles do. No player can ever be bad. No player has any weakness. Everyone's the next big thing. And then, what's he doing now? I know he was on loan at Marseille, went back to Real. He's on loan somewhere. I don't know. And I think that with Arthur, I feel that he needs, go to a stepping stone club first. Take your time. Barca won't just give you the opportunity, regardless of the price they'll pay for you. They're not just going to give you that opportunity. You won't have to. If you make a mistake, you could be out the team for a while. So I think it's too much of a big step up for a guy that hasn't really done enough yet. And I don't think he'd worked just yet. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what our methods would be like. If it was to sign this guy for the future, yeah. But when you've got ruins and stuff, I don't think we need Arthur, to be honest. Okay, I've got another super chat. Appreciate that from JM. Does your girlfriend have a sister? Damn, she fine. Damn, this guy, man. But you know what? Obviously, she has a sister, older sister. So, yeah. But obviously, unfortunately, bro, she's got a man. So, better let her. She's got a brother, but then, I don't know if you're into that. But, no, I'm messing around. But, obviously, I appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? I like my caramel girls, I'm not going to lie. I like girls that look a little bit exotic, you know what I mean? I've always gone for like, I mean, I've never had like a particular type. Like, I've always like a variation, but like, I'll never go for the same type. If they got something exotic about them, then yeah, I like that. Because my girls from everywhere, she's like from India, Portugal, South Africa, and Holland. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a decent mix. It's not too bad. Diaz for Man City, yeah, he's good. Burger Squad, I think Christensen should be benched. I think that's harsh, man. I think this is what I mean. 21, got to allow him to make mistakes. Because here's the thing, in the next 2 years, if we allow this guy to develop, we're not going to care about the mistakes he made in the past. I mean, look at John Stones. This guy, how many years was he struggling, doing nothing? You know what I mean? Joined City under... I mean, really, he's got a career because of Pep Guardiola. And what do I keep saying? You don't need to be 10 out of 10 in every attribute you have. As long as the good attributes that you do possess complements the style of the team, that's all that matters. And this is why Stones has a career. But again, Laporte's in the team. You've got him with Otamendi. You're not even really seeing Stones like that anyway. So, you know what I mean? But I think Christensen, I think we've seen... Come on, we've seen a lot more experienced players make way worse individual mistakes than what Christensen... Yeah, I know he's made high-pressure mistakes, but... Other than the Barcelona game, I feel the one against United was unfortunate because that came from a lack of experience in terms of the gamesmanship. And I think against what was the game against Man City, it was like maybe a bit of a I think it was experience again. I think it was the communication. Maybe if he'd said to Aspie mine, you know what I mean. I don't know. It seemed like a bit of confusion, to be honest. CFC Anuj, I love the girls with backs, obviously, man. You know what I mean? Like Michael Daniel Nini, why didn't Ghana get into the World Cup? And how do you rate African teams' chances? It's disappointing. I think with African football, what seems to annoy me is that every managerial appointment they make is just any European guy, no matter what his style is or if it complements the team or what the Ghanaian FA are trying to do. I don't care. I think this is why so many African nations can maybe fluctuate with their performances. You know what I mean? It's just this is a sign up. I remember at the 2010 World Cup when Eriksson was the manager, and it was such a disgrace how it even happened. I think they sacked their manager literally right before the tournament was starting. Eriksson comes in the final month before the tournament starts, and because he knows nothing about these players and because he's thinking, oh, they're African players, they don't have any tactical discipline and all that cliched stuff, you got them playing so defensively in the World Cup. And it's just like, this was a team that had Kalou, Gervinho, prime Gervinho back then, freaking Drogba, Toure, I mean, Zakora, who used to be good back in the day. I mean, this was a team. And he got them playing defensive on the counter, and it was just disappointing. And it just sums up what these African FAs do. You know, it's always the wrong managerial appointments, and I think that's what's always costing us, to be honest. Okay, you guys, 5 more minutes and I'm gone. Let me make sure no one else has sent super chats so I don't piss no one off. Let me double check. Okay, JM. Okay, so I've answered JM's and Ayub's. You guys, last 5 minutes. If anyone wants their question answered or you just want to back it, obviously now's your chance to do that because I'll be gone. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have the weekend free. My girl's actually going to Barcelona tomorrow. I'm not going to be seeing her this weekend. I need to start playing some weekend league. I haven't touched FIFA. I'm not touching it at all. It's become a complete waste of money. But this is the week I want to start playing some weekend league. Okay. Let me ask some of your questions. Michael Daniel, Nigeria suffered the same thing, but we finally worked out. Exactly. Play to their strengths and you see what they can do. It's not hard, you know. It's not hard. I like to see maybe more African nations promoting, you know, managers from their country and from within. I just feel that sometimes they get gassed about any European guy that comes, you know. Okay, Papi Juro. Saudi Arabia sacked their coach with their ex-Chile coach. Oh, they did. I'm not too sure about Saudi football, but maybe you can give some context in another comment so I can obviously understand. I mean, has he been poor, this ex-Chilean guy, or... I know what you mean. It's like they don't understand the players or anything like that, and then, you know what... This is why this shit just keeps happening. Burger Squad, I completely agree. Christensen is a quality young player with a lot of qualities. However, in my opinion, he's too young to play in the back line against Barca. That's just what I think. But I think sometimes we've got to just ignore... I don't know. It's a learning experience. They need to play these high caliber games. I mean, it's not as if Christensen's never played against top teams before. I mean, even when he was at Borussia Mönchengladbach, he played against your Cities, your Juves, and your Barcas already. And defensively against Barca, he was, other than that one small mistake he made, of course it had big consequences, but it was like the only mistake he made. Defensively, he was very good. With his positioning, how he was able to support, you know, he helps limit Barcelona players getting inside that 18-yard box. You know what I mean? And I just think that, I don't know, you got to continue with these guys. You know, we've got to think long term. Christensen playing these types of games, it's only going to increase his development quicker. You know, there'll be a time when we'll still be fans in the next 2-3 years. Imagine what Christensen's going to be like when he's 23 or 24. You know what I mean? We're all going to be raving about him. There's going to be articles on, is Christensen as good as Beckenbauer? Is Christensen that? You know what football's like. So I just think patience is needed. Alexander, hey man, appreciate the super chat. Hey man, we'd love to see you as a FIFA manager. Trust me, man. Thanks for that. Okay, someone about PayPal. Did someone PayPal or something, or I don't know. Clifford, yes, Clifford. I am a great replacement for Hazard. Bro, let's see your clips, man. Let's see what you can do. Anuj, I don't think you need PayPal to send. If you do want to send a PayPal donation, obviously no one's forcing you. But if you do, I don't think you need a PayPal account to do that. If you click the link, I think it just works like that. It's the same as Super Chat, so you don't have to worry. Everyday Monday, Mukhtar Ali, who used to play for Chelsea Youth, is a Saudi international player. For Vitesse, only 20. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you know, Ali, you know, he's got decent tackers. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting. I think he needs to make it as a first-team player for Vitesse. Hopefully, in the next year or two, he's established himself as one. And, you know, he's got the potential to be a very good player for Saudi Arabia. Yellow fellow Nini, I know your girl has messed yourself, sister. Don't think I don't see you making videos in his place. yeah, of course. You know what I mean. Obviously, yeah. My girl's a younger brother, only by a year actually. He's a YouTuber. He's called Mess Yourself. He's got like 3 million subs. But to be honest, you know what? I've never gone to him really for help, like help me get views or nothing. Like I've done it all myself. I didn't have to say that. I don't know why I did, but yeah, yellow fellow man. Yeah, you clocked it. Hey Flanagan Nini always says he's leaving in 5 minutes. I know I do, don't I? I need to get some more discipline. Nakeem Parsons, Brock Lesnar is like Jaren. Real talk. It's annoying that, you know, obviously my girl's not here, and then obviously there's no Dragon Ball Super for tomorrow too. Next week, these breaks just take the piss. They piss me off. I can't believe there's only 2 more episodes left to. Like Dragon Ball Super is always gonna have a place in my heart. And when I have kids, because I'm gonna have 3 sons, they're all gonna be watching Dragon Ball. They're gonna watch from the start, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super. I've patterned the whole thing. I know how it's gonna be. Okay. Xavier Paisley, who's your favourite Chelsea player? My current favourite one, I'd probably say Eden. But I do like David Luiz actually. I can't lie. He's like a natural footballer. You know what I mean? Balu Grana, who's the probable next manager? That's a hard one. I think the 3 options probably Jardim, Sarri, and Enrique. To be honest. Colin Barcaris, lol, he would never notice my question. I never send it again. Sorry, man. Obviously, I get so many. It's hard to see it all. Prince, now my girl's not from Ghana. She's from everywhere, like Portugal, India, Holland, and South Africa. So like she's a mix. Dragon Ball, 100%. CFC Anuj, go with your girl to Barcelona and go watch the game. No, she's going tomorrow. She's gone for a work thing. That's why. The work company is taking the whole team out or something, so you can't turn down a free trip to Barcelona. Hey, I'm telling you, I planned the whole thing. They're going to be playing football. I want one son's going to be a boxer. One's going to be a footballer. Obviously, I'm going to be that cliche dad that's going to be on his son's case because I was never able to make it as a footballer. So I'm going to put all my insecurities and stuff onto him. Like, no, I'm joking. I won't be like that. But obviously, they're going to know from an early age what football is all I'm saying. Hopefully, some magic can come from that. You know what I mean? That's all we can pray for, really. And with the other son, who cares what he does? Ahmed, Nini, you should have a fixed time on your video graphics to stop you whenever you're ending it. For real, I know. You know what? 10 more minutes and then that's it. There's so many people here. It's like nearly 300. I can't just say bye to, you know what I mean? 10 more minutes when it's 20 past 12, then yeah, I'm gone then. So you guys got me for 10 more minutes, and that's it. CFC Anuj, I cannot click the link. Oh no, with the link, that's the thing. Just you got to copy and paste it basically. So if you select it, and then obviously put it in you know, in the, I don't know if you're on your phone or your computer. I don't know, for some reason it doesn't take you directly there, but yeah, you just gotta, you know, copy and paste it, bro. That's how it works. Okay, Sideshow Bob, Kaká or Ronaldinho? Obviously it's got to be Ronaldinho. I think when a lot of us guys were kids, you know, when we were watching Ronaldinho doing bits in La Liga, the skills, remember those Joga Benito adverts we all used to get gas when we were young? It's got to be Ronaldinho. He's the one, you know, he's the guy that made a lot of people fall in love with the game. So it's got to be, but Kaká, this guy, oh, it's hard. It's mad. For me, Ronaldinho for sure. Okay. Gaya, thanks for your live stream, Nini. I listened to this whilst doing my artwork. I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to be making it easier because this month I'm going to be having the podcast. I'm planning on releasing the first episode after the Barcelona game, because I know that when I check their stats, a lot of people watch my videos through their phones. So I'm thinking for the long style videos, it'll be easier on everyone's data, and in terms of they can pick and choose when they can listen to it if they just had to download a podcast. So I think it would just be a good step so I can have more guests on and, you know, do those more lives, you know, long versions of videos. Okay, Jonas Amar, what is your ideal coach to take over Conte? It's out of the two ones. It's out of either Jardim or Sarri, if I'm being honest, you know. They're the two ones I'm looking at. I think they'd be decent. QWERTY T1, Crespo or Tevez. You know what? I've always felt that, I don't know, Tevez is one of them guys where he should be seen as one of the truly great strikers, because this guy had everything in his game. That is interesting to see why he isn't seen in that type of level as in like one of the proper like world-class strikers of his generation. And it was annoying because, you know, there was a time back then where, you know, we wanted to bring in Tevez to the club, you know. This was back in like 2006 or something, but I don't know, for some reason South Americans just never liked us back then and they never wanted us to come. But what with Crespo too, you know what you miss sometimes? You know those like classic strikers that had that classic technique where Crespo with his curling efforts or running in on goal and a little dinked effort overwards. I mean, even watching his 2 goals he scored against Liverpool in the final, it's just world class. It's like, I love that kind of old style of player because it was like an art form. You know, they were so good. They made things look so effortless and it was just like so beautiful to watch. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes with modern day football, you miss a lot of the art and craft behind the game in terms of, you know, the nuances and the deft touches, the skills and stuff like that, because there's probably more pressure and yeah, there's maybe more physically strong players compared to more technically good players, you know. Okay, Michael Daniel, I didn't build a repertoire for long enough with the team. Juve probably, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think cost Tevez. He moved around too much. Okay, Mary CFC, answer my question. Been asking for 10 mins. Who would be your back four and why? Okay, back four. Again, is that in terms of every player? I mean, to be honest, in the future, I'd like to see a back four of Zuma and Christensen in the middle. Emerson, I think next season we'll start to see more of him, but I'm liking what I see. But here's the thing, it comes to Aspie. I think Aspie makes sense in a back three, but in terms of what he offers as an attacking fullback, he doesn't offer anything. And that's the risk. So I'd have to pick Moses over that fact because, again, like I said, for us, you know, every top team has fullbacks that can act as wingers and can attack. You need that because it's important, especially when you've got your guys who are cutting inside. You need to be able to have players technically good at, you know, obviously playing further up, linking up the play, and Aspie can't really do that. I mean, even when he plays in the back three, he's always got the lowest pass completion rate out of all the other defenders around him, you know. And the crazy thing is, a lot of times it's even less than Cahill. So That's what I mean. His technique isn't amazing, and I think that's what could cost him as the attacking style of fullback. So it would be Emerson, Zuma, Christensen, and Moses for now. JM, yes, create an account or use the cards. Okay, how much do I need to bring on Saturday? Oh, you know what? Real talk, just bring the cash. Like, I'll speak to you tomorrow. You know, just cash will be better. Just take it out of the bank account and that's it, man. Oh, it says create account. Ah, don't worry. I mean, if you wanted to send something for the chat, use a super chat. That's much better. But if you wanted to pay me for the game, cash, just, you know, obviously there's cash points at Fulham Broadway. It's calm, bro. Don't worry. I know. Okay, do something for the World Cup. Yeah, I think, here's what I'm thinking for the World Cup. Should I release videos on my on Blue Lions TV, or should I do them on Nini FC? That's what I'm thinking. I might have to do a poll actually afterwards to find out from you guys if I should do World Cup videos and predictions and analysis on Blue Lions, or if I should do it on Nini FC. Okay. Kobe Robert Nini, do you see Rudiger developing into a world-class defender in the future? Well, he is 25. I don't know. I think with Rudiger, I don't like how his tackling is very inconsistent. He gets caught underneath crosses too often, especially aerially. He's not as dominant as you think he would be. I kind of feel like he's a guy that's great to have in the squad because, you know, you need to have that great backup centre-back, you know. Because, I mean, with centre-backs, that's a position where they tend to pick up a lot of injuries due to how physical they have to play. And I think when you have Rudiger being an option for you to come on, I think he's great to have. I mean, you know, you still get a lot of game time playing as a backup centre-back. So, as part of the group, I think he's a good addition. But if he was to become world-class, I'm not too sure, to be honest. Okay. Actually, Nini FC. Like I said, I'll do a poll so you guys can let me know. Everyday Monday. I miss Luiz's sexy 60-yard passes stepping up from centre back. Yeah, I missed that too. And we got to think, you know, Luiz used to be a guy that could get you. He was getting us 5 to 7 goals a season. You know, he contributed, and obviously goals will help you win games, and yeah, he was contributing towards that. I don't know. I always thought, but there were guys like your Mourinho's and Conte's, obviously giving him very strict tactical roles where you can't really have that maybe creative license and freedom. You do miss a bit of the magic of what Luiz can provide, of course, in terms of stepping out in that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really see how bad it is for a defender to step out because someone covers him. So, I don't know. I think we miss a lot because Luiz starts a lot of attacks, you know. You guys, 2 more minutes and that's it. I'm literally gone. 2 more minutes. Okay, let me. Anyone sent anything so I haven't missed anyone out? Okay, Alexander. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys, like I said, 2 more minutes and I'm gone. So if anyone has any urgent question they want prioritized, now's your chance. Or if you just maybe just even save it. Obviously, I've got the subscriber calling that's going to be happening next week. It was quite popular yesterday. You know, it was really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing with that. And it's a great chance for you guys to, you know, have some one-on-one talking time with me too. I agree. His passing range is very good. It is. And this is why I think he's a nice addition to have for the defensive group. But I think maybe just in terms of just if you had to break him down as a player, there's some things that he could be better at. I'm just thinking, should we not be seeing him being a bit better at certain things already? I mean, who knows? I mean, of course, he's still got time to improve, but it's just my thoughts. Christensen or Zuma, Chelsea FC, I can't pick. I don't know. It has to be both. I think they're both masters at the things that they do. You know what I mean? Okay. Diego Cunster, I got £10 on Nini saying another 5 mins. Ooh. Damn. Nah, I can't, you guys. I can't. You know what? I nearly said 5 more minutes. I nearly did, but nah, I need to learn how to start being more assertive, you know what I mean? Because you know how my 5 minutes are like. I say 5 minutes like 10 more times, then I'm here for 3 hours. So, nah, I can't. Literally my final minute, you guys, and I'm gone. Like I said, so if anyone has any urgent questions that they want answered or anything, Got your last minute to do that, and then I can do that. CFC and Janina, you hype for Black Ops 4. You know what? I've never really... The last Call of Duty I got was Advanced Warfare. I've never really played it like that. You know what I mean? So, to be honest, I really haven't had any time playing any type of games. You know, I'm not even playing FIFA. So that's saying it all, really. Okay. Let me answer one. Okay. I'll answer one more question from someone. Like I said, if you want me to prioritize, now's a chance. If not, then obviously it's cool. There's other weeks and there's other days. How do you super chat? If on the top, you know where it says the live chat on the top. I don't know. Not I'm saying it wrong. On the bottom it says super chat, but I'm guessing Burger Squad that you're on your iPhone. If you're on your iPhone, if you're on iOS, there's no option for super chat. That's why there's the PayPal link in the description, because that's the only way, you know what I mean? So let me know now if you do want me to answer something. If you are going to send something, let me know now. If not, don't worry, man, there's other days. Jordan Emmett, yes, Jordan. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, it's so random that you even found me on FIFA, but yeah, you spanked me, and this is the only FIFA I just haven't been that good at it, and I just don't know why. I mean, with FIFA 17, my squad was mad, and I was regularly getting into, you know, gold 1 every single time, you know what I mean? But this FIFA, I don't know what it is. Yeah, Burger Squad, yeah, you're on iOS, yeah, man. There's no super chat function on that. But if you want to send something, if you want me to answer a question, the description is a PayPal link. Literally copy and paste that, and I think that's it, bro. Okay, let me... Nah, I'm not. Next time, yeah, that's better. Okay, I'll answer the last one. What's a good last one to answer? Yeah, it's the update. This is what I mean. They update it every time, and then it pisses me off. Yeah, I'm on Xbox. I'll leave my my gamer tag in the description, actually, after. No, in the community tab, I'll leave my gamer tag. Okay, what's the last question? Worst football pundit, and that's by Nakeem Parsons. The worst football pundit. The worst football pundit. It's hard to say. Yeah, Ahmed. Yeah, I'm on Xbox. I don't know. With football pundits, I kind of feel that because of their PR roles and how PR sensitive they need to be, I never feel that we'll get any realistic opinions or any, you know, brave opinions from them, really, you know. But who do I really not have time for? Sometimes Gary Neville can annoy me a bit, because sometimes he sounds like too much of a Yerda fan. I'm thinking, but this guy was a pro playing for United. Where's the insight? Where's the nuance behind stuff, you know? Like, I want to learn something. I want to think of something I never thought before. And anytime, you know, it's an Arsenal game and you got Neville afterwards, I just turn the TV off straight after, because you know it's going to be saying the same stuff like, oh, it's a disgrace, they're awful, they're boring, they're bad. But then he'll never say why, you know what I mean? Oh, the players got no desire, they don't have that mentality, they're weak. It's just like, but why are they? Like, why? That's what I'm asking for, you know? Why? That's what I mean. But anyway, you guys, that's it. That's the last question. I need to keep it moving. Like I said, I need to try to qualify for... I'm just thinking it's like 12:30. Can I even be bothered to play FIFA? This is what always comes down to, you know. Probably not. Fuck it. It's, you know. But anyway, you guys, it's been a really good Q&A live stream today. It's got the most amount of people. Never had this many for a Q&A live stream. And you guys, of course, next week is going to be the subscriber calling. Probably have it after the Barcelona game. And then after that will be another Q&A live stream. Thank you to everyone that sent PayPal donations, sent their super chats to be answered. Obviously help support the channel. And I hope that you're all happy with the thorough answers that I gave you guys as well. But you guys, I need to keep it moving. My throat's getting kind of sore now. You know what I mean? Like, I need to rest. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching. I'm the NEFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.